Nick Aldis could sanction Drew McIntyre over Fatu attack. Nick Aldis just warned Drew McIntyre that if he's revealed as Jacob Fatu's mystery attacker, there will be consequences, and honestly, that's the most general manager thing a general manager has ever said. Drew is standing in the ring acting innocent, Fatu is lying backstage in a pool of blood, and Aldis is out here threatening suspensions and sanctions like he's running an actual workplace instead of a wrestling show where people regularly assault each other with steel chairs. Welcome back to the Wrestling Hidden Insight, and today we're breaking down the 3 ways Nick Aldis could punish Drew McIntyre if he's revealed as the attacker, why removing Drew from the title picture would be both logical and insane, and whether Drew actually did it or if someone else took out Fatu and framed the Scottish Warrior. Let's start with what happened on Smackdown because context is everything. Jacob Fatu was scheduled to face Drew McIntyre in a #1 contenders match for the undisputed WWE Championship. Winner gets Cody Rhodes. High stakes, major opportunity for both men. But before the match could happen, cameras found Fatu backstage lying on the floor, bleeding from his mouth, clearly unable to compete. Someone attacked him. Someone took him out. And the match was cancelled. Drew McIntyre was the obvious suspect because he's the one who benefits most from Fatu being unable to compete. No match means no chance of losing. No match means the path to Cody Rhodes and the championship is still open without having to go through one of SmackDown's most dangerous competitors. But Drew claims he didn't do it. He's denying involvement. And honestly, that makes this even more interesting because either Drew is lying and covering his tracks, or someone else attacked Fatu and Drew is being set up as the fall guy. Both scenarios create compelling television. And both scenarios put Drew in Nick Aldis' crosshairs. Because even if Drew didn't do it, the perception is that he did, and in wrestling, perception often matters more than reality. Now let's talk about the first potential punishment Nick Aldis could impose if Drew is revealed as the attacker. Removing Drew from the undisputed WWE title scene. Drew and Cody Rhodes have renewed their rivalry, and everyone knows they're building to a rematch for the championship. They had an incredible match at Clash in Paris where Cody retained, and the story between them is far from over. Drew wants that title more than anything. He's been chasing it for years. He's had championship reigns cut short, opportunities snatched away, and moment after moment of coming so close but not quite getting there. So being removed from title contention right when he's about to get another shot would be devastating for Drew's character. But from a general manager perspective, it makes sense. If Drew attacked Fatu to avoid competing in a #1 contenders match, that's circumventing the rules. That's taking a shortcut. That's assault to gain competitive advantage. And Aldis could argue that Drew shouldn't benefit from illegal actions by getting a title shot anyway. So the punishment is simple. You took out your opponent to avoid the match? Fine. You don't get the title opportunity either. You're out of the title picture completely. Go to the back of the line and earn your way back up through legitimate means. This would protect Drew in a way because he's not losing clean to Cody again. He's being removed from the title scene due to circumstances, which keeps him strong and gives him something to be angry about. Drew could cut promos about how Aldis is treating him unfairly, how he's being punished without proof, how Nick is playing favorites. That builds heat and keeps Drew relevant even when he's not in the championship picture. But it also frustrates Drew's character arc because he's right back where he started, chasing a title shot instead of actually having one. The second potential punishment is even more drastic. Nick Aldis could remove Drew from the SmackDown roster entirely and trade him to Raw. This would be a nuclear option. Drew has been on SmackDown for a long time. He's competed against every top star on the blue brand. He's got history with Cody, with Roman, with everyone. Ripping him away from SmackDown and sending him to Raw would be Aldis making an example. It would be Aldis saying, I will not tolerate this kind of behavior on my show, and if you want to attack people backstage and circumvent matches, you can do it on someone else's brand. From a storytelling perspective, this creates opportunity. Drew on Raw opens up fresh matchups. Drew versus CM Punk. Drew versus whoever ends up as World Heavyweight Champion after Saturday night's main event. Drew in the mix with the Vision storyline. There's potential there. But it also feels like giving up on the Drew versus Cody story before it's properly concluded. And WWE has been building that rivalry for months. Trading Drew to Raw right now would be abrupt and would leave a lot of storytelling money on the table. So while it's a possibility, it's probably the least likely of the 3 punishments Aldis could impose. The third option is the most traditional and probably the most realistic. Suspension. Nick Aldis suspends Drew McIntyre for 1 or 2 weeks, possibly with a fine attached, for attacking Jacob Fatu and depriving SmackDown of a main event match. This is the general manager playbook. Someone does something bad, you suspend them, they come back angry and motivated, and the storyline continues. Suspending Drew accomplishes several things. It punishes him without completely removing him from the title picture. It gives SmackDown a few weeks to build other storylines while Drew is absent. And it creates anticipation for his return because everyone will be wondering what Drew does when he comes back. A suspension also protects Drew if he didn't actually attack Fatu. If it's revealed later that someone else was the attacker, Drew can come back and demand an apology from Aldis, demand reinstatement, and demand his title shot. The wrongful suspension becomes part of his character's motivation. He was punished for something he didn't do, and now he's even more determined to prove himself and win the championship. That's good long-term storytelling that gives Drew layers and makes fans sympathize with him even as he's playing a heel. But here's the twist that nobody's talking about enough. What if Drew didn't attack Jacob Fatu? What if the real attacker is someone we're not even considering? Randy Orton has been acting suspicious. Someone from Fatu's bloodline past could have a grudge. Cody Rhodes could have orchestrated it to avoid defending against Fatu. The possibilities are endless, and the mystery attacker angle is one of those classic wrestling stories that keeps people guessing until the reveal. If Drew is revealed as the attacker, these punishments make sense. But if Drew is innocent and someone else did it, Nick Aldis threatening to sanction Drew creates even more drama because Drew will be furious about being blamed for something he didn't do.